Playing One Child's Heart was devastating, but like in an amazing way because you're going through this kid's memories together with them, and you don't get to change anything of what happened, which is great. That makes it not a power fantasy, but also every single thing that you say has enormous weight. So you're telling this kid like, okay, yes, you're getting bullied terribly at school, but you can still believe in adults even when they seem like they have failed you in these certain situations, or what you're experiencing is telling you that you have no self worth, but you do, and it's really hard while playing it to when it doesn't go through, but then when what you say does go through, you're just like yes, and it was just such a fascinating experience because like while you're saying all these things to this fictional kid, you're also kind of like saying it to each other as players, and that was really cool and really strange.
Hi, I'm Darrell Hayhurst. I'm the line developer for Torg Eternity, one of the other role-playing games out there. Camden invited me to play One Child's Heart last time I was in the same town with him, and it was quite an experience. The game is about empathy, and it's a pretty intense exploration of empathy. And what surprised me about it, when he described it to me, and how you're dealing with a child who's experienced some trauma, and you can go back and you can speak to them about it, but you can't change the trauma itself. You can only be there for them afterwards. And I had certain expectations around that, and the game tweaked them a little bit, um, because the traumas were smaller than what I expected. The experiences that we were going for, they weren't these big, broad, world-ending things for the most part. They were the everyday things that can happen to people. And mechanically, it says a lot about how it works being empathetic and being there for someone and what that can do for you. And it was a very intense and interesting experience that I highly recommend. Because as role players, we're used to saving the world, but it's a lot harder, scaling that down and dealing with one person and what they might need. So great game, Camden.
I loved playing One Child's Heart. It is the kind of game that lingers with you long, long after you play it. And it's a genuinely moving experience. Difficult at points, painful at points, very emotional, but empathetic, extremely empathetic and hopeful. And I think that's what really sets it apart from a lot of games is that unabiding sense of empathy and hope, and it's what makes it that kind of experience that you find yourself coming back to and thinking about again and again and again. It's a truly special and unique and singular game experience that I can't say that I've played a lot of games like it, and I think that's truly high praise given the fact that I do play a lot of games. I really think One Child's Heart is a game that a lot of people should try at least once because I think it's an experience in role playing games that you won't soon forget.
Hi, I'm Jabari Weathers. I'm an illustrator and I'm a tabletop role-playing game designer. I work primarily in indie RPGs. And I wanted to talk about my experience preparing to work on the cover illustration for One Child's Heart. Specifically, Camden and I had facilitated and then met up to play this game one-on-one, which was a rarity for me. I haven't played many games one-on-one, and this game ran beautifully. Um, but more importantly, I wanted to talk about just how much empathy and responsibility is carried through this game. Um, every single thing that I was saying in the fiction as my character, I was holding on to and hoping that it had the right impact. And there were a lot of times where I felt like I said the wrong thing, or I said the right thing, and it just wasn't received the way that I intended it to. I didn't say it at the right time. It's a really real emotional palette that this game works with, and it does so in a way that's very subtle, a way that doesn't get enough recognition in games, even though I think that this medium is every bit as mature as any other storytelling medium. This is hopefully one of those games that gets people to really start identifying that. I haven't seen as many games that really push from the system the idea that you have a really important and dense impact on other people, and especially people that are younger than you, specifically children that you're trying to help in this game. And this game does a beautiful job of making you really mindful of that. It stuck with me for days afterwards. So I hope that it gets the recognition and the support that it deserves, and that people also get to experience the same thing, because a lot of games they don't do that, for me at least. Not because of the system, but usually because of the people. This game is designed around facilitating that kind of emotional awareness, and for that alone, it's absolutely worth your consideration.
I want to talk about One Child's Heart, which I got the chance to play last year at ChupacabraCon, and Camden was running it, so it was super awesome. And it was very deep and difficult material, but that's kind of what made it so amazing, because it gets into you. So it's one of those experiences that I will remember for probably the rest of my life.
Camden Wright's One Child's Heart is it's a game unlike any other I've ever played. It's beautiful. It really strives to make better humans through role-playing, which isn't something I thought you could even do. But Camden pulled it off. It tells emotional stories, and you participate in emotional stories, and that takes you to a really vulnerable, introspective place. But especially with the people I played with, I really feel like I came out of the experience bettered, and I had a great time while doing it. You should definitely give it a look.
After playing One Child's Heart by Camden Wright, I was struck by how completely unique it is among tabletop RPGs. All games have some element of both their creators and their players in them, but One Child's Heart demands that you engage with your feelings in sometimes uncomfortable but powerful ways. One Child's Heart is intense, hopeful, and despite the fact that its primary framing device is fictional, very, very real. It's clear that Camden put a lot of himself into his game. His heart, his willingness to be vulnerable when called for, and his compassion are front and center throughout the whole experience. But what's also clear is how much research, work, and conversation with experts went into it. I'm not someone who works professionally with those in crisis, but I can say that every moment of gameplay felt real to me, and it touched me deeply. Play this game with people you trust. Play this game to learn about yourself and to grow into the perspectives of others. But most of all, just play this game.
Just wanted to tell everyone how much I love One Child's Heart. So what I love about it is that it's a game where you laugh and you cry, and I mean, I cried. Maybe if you're a human being, you cry. But that you instantly bond with the people you play with, and you get to know someone on a level that's really intense very quickly, but not in a weird way. And it really creates a moment, a bubble, and so few games do that now. You can have fun, you can laugh, but it really creates an experience that you'll never forget. So just wanted to support and say I love it, and recommend that anyone You know, if you have a chance to get a group of people together, or even people you don't know, it's an amazing opportunity to connect.
Hello, my name is Jason Pitt from Genesis of Legend Publishing, and I'm excited and overjoyed to see that One Child's Heart is now on Kickstarter. This game, written and designed by Camden Wright, is one of the most beautiful expressions of humanity wrought into game form that I've seen to date. It's a game that teaches us how to be more caring, empathetic, and kind people, offering service and assistance to those in need. It focuses on ordinary people and extraordinary children who need help and need our support. It gives us the tools to learn how to make their lives a little bit better and a little bit safer and a little bit healthier for everyone. And then at the end, most heartbreaking of all, it asks us to let them be. Let them find their own path. And I think that's the greatest lesson of all. Leave the place better than you found it. One Child's Heart is a masterpiece. And if you care about meaningful games and the frontier of innovative game design, this is the game for you. Thank you.